Hey, this is Rob, and before we get started with this episode of Squared Circle Pit, just want to warn you there was a bit of a technical error on my end, and so for the first 10 minutes or so of the interview, you're not going to see my video. You're only going to hear my luscious, deep voice. But then my video is going to pop up, but, the conversation was so good I didn't really want to restart it. So with that said, here's the show. No video of me, first 10 minutes.
Welcome to the Squared Circle Pit with your host, Rob Pasbani.
All right, here we go. Now entering the Squared Circle Pit, we have Frank Albanese, the guitarist and vocalist of Path, whose new album, All That Was Promised, out now on Willow Tip. It's pretty brutal. Also, you are the guitarist of Laphidius. Welcome, and thank you for entering the pit.
Thanks for having me here. Hell yeah.
And so excited. Elimination Chamber was this past weekend. We're gonna get into it. And we briefly discussed right before we went live that neither of us woke up at 5 a.m. to watch it because we don't have to, because technology makes it so you don't have to suffer while enjoying entertainment.
Yeah, it's crazy to me now that I now know, they have to do that all the time.
Do what all the time?
People in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, so that's how they live all the fucking time.
Yeah, exactly. They have to, they're up at the equivalent of their 5 a.m. to watch pay-per-views when they're on at the regular time. Or like in the UK, I believe it's like 4 or 5 a.m. But with the power of on demand,
That's right.
You don't have to do that. Just stay off social media. Was the event spoiled for you? Or were you able to watch it with fresh eyes?
I told like 20 people, don't talk to me. Like, don't tell me anything. If you see anything, don't tell me anything. Like, I'm trying to go in blind because like I try and like kind of like view things as like a casual would. So like sometimes I try to just go completely blind. I'm like, I can't go online all day. But yeah, I tried to do that. And it was unspoiled.
Great. And so how often do you watch WWE? Do you watch the weekly shows or do you just kind of check in for the big events?
I try to watch all the pay-per-views. The fact that they're on Saturdays is kind of like tough because that's when people do things. But the weekly shows, I might catch like half of Raw, half of SmackDown, and then like I'll like catch the highlights just real quick. But like I try to just like keep on top of it just to know what's going on usually.
Yeah, Raw is a little too long for me, but they do a pretty awesome job of just uploading all the important parts to YouTube. So you really don't need to watch Raw live. You can catch up. And SmackDown is a pretty easy watch. I enjoy watching that, and I watch AEW. But so do you follow AEW or you just stick to WWE mostly?
I give it a shot every like few months. Like, all right, I'll watch it this week. I'll see. And usually it's like hit and miss. I don't know.
I'm curious because I do enjoy it. No judgment either way, but like I'm curious what doesn't grab you about it.
There is some intangible factor where I don't want to say like it's like small game, but a lot of things just feel less important when I'm watching it. Like it feels like they save all the big things for pay-per-views and stuff. So I'm watching it. I'm like, I feel like nothing is really happening sometimes. So like I don't feel gripped like I need to tune back in or anything. I'm like, the show is fine. All right.
Understood. So I just want to clarify, and I think this is a very valid thing you're saying. I'm not discounting what you're saying. I just want to make sure when you say nothing is happening, I'm assuming you mean like there isn't storyline progression as much on their programming as you would see on WWE. Is that what you mean? Or what do you mean by like nothing is happening?
Yeah, like I'm definitely like a story guy. And like there's a lot of wrestling on there that it may not be my style. Like I might not be into the AEW style for a lot of them. But like there's guys on there who I like and stuff. But it's just I don't know. It's just not enough that's been able to grab. I mean, I like need a bit more like stronger characters and a story in there.
Makes sense. How long have you been watching wrestling? Do you remember like your earliest wrestling memory?
Probably 30 years, I guess.
Nice. Okay, so you've been watching.
No, yeah, like since I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the first thing I remember. The first thing I remember was like a tape. I don't remember what the match was, but I remember the blue cage.
Nice. The old school day. So you were always a WWF, WWE guy.
I actually started as a WCW guy, but at the time,
Okay.
I was so young, I had no concept of like companies. I just thought it was all the
Mhm.
same. I was like, why are some guys on this one and not on this one? I
So
don't get it.
who were your WCW guys? Who were you rooting for?
Savage, Sting, like Surfer Sting.
Oh, of course, of
Yeah.
course.
I liked Foley, but at the time I was like, I don't know who this crazy guy is. I just think he's cool. And then I remember a few years after that, I tuned into WWF and I was like, wait, why is he here? I was so lost. I was like, what? This isn't the
I
same
remember
show?
that too as a kid, just being like, "Wait, how are you on this show now? You used to be on that show. How did you get on? How did you switch over? That's so cool." And then I started thinking, "Who else could switch over? Could you imagine?"
Yeah, and like that was around the time when like everyone was switching back and forth. Like when Nash and Hall
Yes.
switched, I was like, what the fuck? You can do
Yeah, that
that?
was a crazy one. Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was a few years before when Hogan switched. I was like, wow, I can't believe they got Hogan. Like, that's crazy. And then Savage as well. That was because Hogan, I just always associated with WWF. Like, he was, oh, no matter what, if he wasn't there throughout the year, he would always be at WrestleMania. He was on the first 9 WrestleManias and then didn't make it to the 10th one because he was on Thunder in Paradise.
It's crazy. No, no. Like in hindsight, it's nuts. It's like, wow, yeah. Like they
Yeah.
fucking jumped ship. That was wild.
Yeah. Where's their loyalty? Well, their loyalties to the paycheck, which completely understandable. It's a business.
That's right. That's right. They're there to work.
So that's awesome. So Elimination Chamber was this past weekend. I wanted to. What are your overall thoughts? Did you enjoy the show? How did you feel at the end of it?
I went in unsure because I actually hadn't caught the go home shows that week. So I was like, I don't know how hype I am. But overall, I thought the show was a lot better than I expected it to be. Considering what there was only five.
Yeah, there were 5. Oh, or yeah, with the pre-show. I did not see the pre-show match. So if you happen to catch that, you are better than I. But yes, there were 5 matches. Yeah, it was an easy show to get through, honestly. Like there was a lot of filler, but again, another great thing about watching on demand, you can just zoom past all that filler.
Honestly, I think the only thing that I got that I kind of tuned out of was the tag match.
Oh,
Like,
nice. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the match that was actually a pretty fun match too. I mean, like all the commercials and like
oh my God, yeah. I mean,
the
that's like I'm gonna go grab a drink time. That's
yeah, and the long intros and all that. But yeah, no, but it was a fun show. So yeah, let's get there. Did you watch the pre-show? Did you see the first match?
I watched just the match. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how was that?
The match was good. I'm not big on Candice, and I think Andy is good.
Indy Hartwell. Yeah.
Yeah. But the match went about as you could expect. Asuka and Kyrie are just on fire.
Yeah, they're a great tag team. I'm glad they're the women's champions because also I feel like with the women's titles, it's great when it's a pair of women that are really, really good athletes because then it just brings up the whole division in the sense that they're more likely to have better matches.
Yeah, and like they have all this like history and chemistry, and it just pays off. Like it's great to have on screen. It's cool
Yeah.
that Kyrie is back. I thought it was interesting that EO wasn't like coming out too, but I mean having her fly down there just for that would be weird.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about this show, which is so cool in a way, is they're in a giant stadium on the other side of the world.
Yeah,
Always cool vibes for me. I love a good stadium show. It looks completely different than what you're used to. And the Perth crowd was there to have a good time, and they were a really fun crowd. And I loved all the wide shots and the drone shots, all the fireworks, like all that
place is
spectacle.
big.
Yeah, it's what I come to expect from WWE.
Yeah, no, like it looked sick, and I'm glad that the crowd was all hype. I mean, I would be hyped too if like it's like these people have not had a pay-per-view straight up.
Yeah, exactly. It's been quite a while. And but the thing is though, like it is a stadium, it's a 4-hour show, but only They only get 5 matches. They didn't even get like a Cody Rhodes match. I don't
I'm
know.
like hoping they got something like before.
No, this was it. So it's like
Man,
I feel like for a stadium show, I could see this being a bit of a bummer, but as just a show in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, a great show.
yeah. I did like all the promos that they had that like showcased Australia and stuff, and I was like, they like did tons of things here. Like that's cool.
Did you leave wanting to visit Australia?
No, because I hate flying.
So they didn't do that good of a job.
No, not yet. They'll get me next time.
So the main show kicked off with the women's elimination chamber match. We had Naomi versus Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton, who was the MVP of the match.
Tippy time.
Here. It was Tiffy time. The crowd was going nuts for her to the point that they booed when she got eliminated. And I believe it was Bianca Belair who eliminated her, who was a face who they were cheering, but they still booed because they didn't want Tiffy to be eliminated. Oh no, she was eliminated by Liv Morgan. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because Tiff was going to go for the moonsault, and
Right.
Liv stopped her and hit her move on her. It was a good way to go, but I was like, I wanted to see the moonsault. I'm so hyped for it. No, this match was great. They picked the right people because the crowd loved everyone here. Like the crowd was hyped. But yeah, Tiff, so good. Like she's only what, like 24 or something?
Yeah, she's super young. She's a college athlete.
She's trained for like 2 years.
Yeah, she has the gymnastics background, so she's set. Like all the cool moves she could do.
But like she's got this like intensity. Like she moves like she's like trying to beat someone's ass. I'm like, that's what I need. That's what I need in the show from everyone. Like bring it. Like make you got to convince me you're really going to beat someone's ass here. She does it.
She's easily one of the best recruits they've ever had. Like the best one they've had since Bianca and Rhea Ripley for sure, in terms of like, wow, she's going to be a huge star.
But yeah, everyone brought it in this match. I thought I was very
Yeah, so the order of elimination was Naomi was the first one eliminated by Stratton, which is to me was a little surprising because Naomi also just returned a few weeks ago at the Rumble and just kind of back in the fold, not really doing much.
She's taken a couple pins, yeah.
Yeah. Stratton eliminated by Liv Morgan, as we mentioned. Raquel Rodriguez was the next to go, eliminated by Bianca Belair. And then Belair was eliminated by Liv. And then it was Morgan and Becky Lynch. And of course, Becky Lynch wins to go on to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Not really a surprise, seeing as though they had the press conference a few weeks ago. And the only person who confronted Rhea Ripley from this match was Becky Lynch. So they were kind of heavily suggesting what was going on there.
Yeah, like they've been like kind of like building that feud for a bit. So like even prior to that, it was like, okay, it's probably going to be Lynch, obviously. But I don't think that took away from this. Like half of them could have won and been fine. But yeah, like Lynch was pretty obvious from the start.
Absolutely, yeah. And so let's see. Any other thoughts on this match?
When Tiff jumped off the pod, this is just like something I don't like when the camera shoots from the ground up. I don't think the spots look as impressive. Like they don't look as like high up as they actually are. I'm like, she's jumping from off that pod onto them. It looks more impressive if you're taking that shot from far away. But like when they aim it up, it looks less impressive. It's like, how high is that actually? Like it just kind of, it's just a gripe that I have with the camera work.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, well, they've been changing up the production a lot in the recent weeks. I think for the better, ultimately. I like that they're slowing it down a little, less cuts, thankfully. We don't need that much cutting.
That's all I got for this match. Yeah, I noted that Bianca was like on fire here.
Yeah, I mean she's always delivering and a great performer, and I think in a way, like I feel that they need to give her more to do now. We'll see.
Yes,
she's
like are they going to have her feud with Jade? Is that like the thing? Like they kind of teased that like once or twice, but
yeah, we still haven't seen Jade show up on the show. Hopefully we'll see her in the next few weeks. That would be a great WrestleMania match.
Yeah, like they had her. I think she showed up on SmackDown what like a week or two ago, where they just had her like signing, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, you got like a month. I hype it up now. Like,
I think with it would be cool. I was thinking if they would have Jade and Bianca maybe team up a little first. Like, what if they went against the women's tag champions, Asuka and Io
Kyrie.
Shirai? Oh, Kyrie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, it's not Io. It's Kyrie. Yes.
No, now that you say that, I mean, I wouldn't hate it. They got two nights, so there's gonna be tons of feuds and shit. So I mean, I wouldn't hate that. I mean, they would have to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if they don't win, then they could do a whole split up angle. Then that could lead to like a match. That could be how
It's
the feud starts.
it's kind of like so short though.
Yeah.
There's like no like bad blood there. It's too short. But if they did do something, they could break up, maybe do the big match at SummerSlam. I don't know.
Yeah. I would love that though if they were a tag team and they just dominated the division. They were like the modern mega powers, like Macho and Hogan. But
See, now that you say that, I'm like, I'm fucking all in. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it.
all right. So then the next match was the Judgment Day versus New Catch Republic, which is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. And I thought these guys had a good match actually. I This was the match I agree with you I cared about the least. The Judgment Day tag team title run has been a little middle of the road for me. I like Judgment Day as a unit, but this tag team kind of I don't know. There's something missing in it for me. But
Yeah,
these guys worked hard and they had some cool moves in here. What did you think of this match?
I thought so. Everyone in this match is great. They just had like a great match, but I just not invested in it. Like there's no there's 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 no real story here. I don't really care who wins or loses. I just know it's gonna be a fine match. No real notes here. The crowd loves to boo Dom still, which is
Yeah.
amazing. And I love when people get ejected. It's always great.
Yeah, I was really impressed with how much the crowd was into participating in, booing the hell out of Dominic.
Oh yeah. What was the move that Catch Republic did? The Birmingham
Oh, the Birmingham.
hammer.
Yes.
I fucking love that.
Yes. I love that it's a take on, of course, it's a Japanese finisher called the Burning Hammer.
Yeah.
They combine it with the Birmingham where they're from and a killer tag team combo for
I
sure.
was like, that is just great. But yeah, no shock here. It feels like there's no real tag chase happening here. I don't know.
Yeah, what's interesting is like now that you mentioned that, like there aren't really that many established. I mean, I guess there are established tag teams, but they're not really doing much with them. Like there's New Day, I guess there's the Viking Raiders, one of them is injured, so I guess they're not really active.
Yeah.
The Street Profits, but all the active tag teams aren't really bad in storylines, it seems.
No.
So I guess they needed something to do for these guys. Then it was the Grayson Waller effect with Austin Theory and Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And this crowd absolutely loves Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins and was really into Grayson Waller as well. They
Well,
love their locals.
he's not like from there, but he's from like near there, right?
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't
he's
know.
from New Zealand, so it counts.
Yeah, yeah.
He's from around.
Um, the thing I gotta say, the thing with Austin Theory, he's man. I feel like he came in and he had a huge upside, but I don't know. He just feels stuck for like 2 years now.
Yeah, for me, Austin Theory does nothing for me.
Yeah,
Like
no.
I understand why WWE has him, but it's just like I don't know. I don't get it, and I'm with you. Like he hasn't evolved. It kind of the stuff that John Cena said about him almost feels like, wow, you know what? He was right.
I thought that was so fucked up. I was like, John, you didn't have to do that.
But so Cody Rhodes essentially challenges The Rock, and Seth Rollins says he has his back. The word on the street is they're aiming or they're positioning for a tag match the first night of WrestleMania, which would be Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins against The Rock and Roman Reigns. How do you feel about that?
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really see the overall point. Like there is a like visceral like part of me that's just like, yes, I want those guys to fight. But logically, I'm like, why? What do they get out of it? Really? But I mean, hey, if people like it and they go home happy, then I guess that's that's why.
Yeah. And it's really, I'm sure it's just to get publicity for The Rock. I think it's for the best that The Rock isn't in a singles match, as much as I would be more into a Rock versus Roman match than this tag match. I could see why it'd be good for The Rock to come in for 2 minutes, get a little bit of a breather,
Oh
come
my
back,
God. Yeah, he
like
needs it.
because he's an older guy. He's 51 now, and it's let's give him a chance.
It's tiring out there, man.
Yeah, it's tiring for me. I can't even imagine for him.
I thought like last year, and then still, I thought like Rock should be like the guest ref for like Cody and Reigns. But I mean, they still could do that. I feel like that would be an interesting angle. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah. Well, they haven't fully decided what they're doing. I guess The Rock is
Yeah,
going to be on
right.
SmackDown this Friday, which is, I assume, when they really announce the match now, because we're almost at a month now to WrestleMania. You want to have this announced, I feel, especially because the commercials are heavily implying this is the match already. The four of them do like a big stare down or some stuff like
This
that.
this whole thing's been just back and forth and back and forth. Like nobody knows what's actually gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And so the next match was the men's chamber match, which has Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and LA Knight. Yeah.
This shit was star-studded.
Yeah. This is a fun match. Logan Paul's in his cage with the Sharpie, making a bunch of goofs, which I
That
thought
shit
was
was great.
great. Kevin Owens is
Uh
getting very angry.
Kevin Owens pulled out a choke slam.
Yes, he pulled it out because he's told some kid that he was going to do that. So it was like a tribute to a child. I believe a Make-A-Wish child or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that. I was like, interesting. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, now I get why. I don't think I need to see it again, but it was nice.
I'm sure there's a reason he doesn't do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so the eliminations were McIntyre was on fire this match. He eliminated Lashley, which I was surprised that Lashley was the first one to go, but then I realized like, well, he's the least pushed out of everyone just by
Yeah.
sheer process of like popularity. He's got to do it. And then LA Knight, well, LA Knight eliminated because as Lashley was leaving, the cage door opens and who shows up but AJ Styles. He
How
took
does
the
this happen every
flight
year?
just to cause LA Knight the match. And then LA Knight is eliminated. So you got to think that they're wrestling at WrestleMania. Then Randy Orton eliminated Kevin Owens. Orton eliminated Logan Paul. Logan Paul grabbed the brass knucks and hit Orton with him for McIntyre to get the final pin and win the men's elimination chamber. He'll be going on to face Seth Rollins for the world title at WrestleMania, which was the main event of the pay-per-view like 2 months ago and feels still somehow feels like a fresh match now just because of how rejuvenated the Drew McIntyre character is. What did you think of this match?
I thought this match was great, man. Like I said, everybody in here, great stars. Randy, I'm glad that he's back. I haven't always been a huge fan of his because sometimes I'm like, he's kind of meh. But when he's having a good time, you can tell, and it seems like he's like out there. He's doing his best work. I think he's fucking great in there. KO is always great. Lashley, I'm glad that he's over still, because love him, he's great, but like he gets put in these weird stories and then pulled off TV. So I'm glad that he's still o over. I love him breaking the odds. Always good, always fun.
Yeah, they do that spot every year and every year it works on me. I'm like, hell yeah.
I'm like, yes, break it. No,
Guys just want one thing and it's for one of the pods to break.
yeah, I just want giant dudes to run through like pods. Um, he took the best Claymore like ever. I was like, fuck, that looked real good.
Yeah, in general, I thought this was a very action-packed match. Like it really
Yeah.
kept my attention the whole match through. And this is when WWE excels because there's all these different stories. Like you were saying, you like good stories, you like a reason to be invested. They had all these different stories going on at once, and it really paid off, I think, and climaxed right at the right time.
When Logan ran back in, I was genuinely not expecting that. That got me. I was like, fuck, he's good.
Yeah, and that was a great way to get Randy to lose without making him look weak, like
Yeah, yeah, it was perfect. I was like,
yeah.
whoever thought of this? Awesome.
I'm also blown away at I say this maybe every Logan Paul match, just how much of a natural he is. He's in there with five other main eventers, and you forget that this is his fifth match or whatever, like he's so comfortable in there. It's shocking.
He has no right to be as good as he is. Like straight up, he's just it makes no sense.
And then we had the main event, the Women's World Championship match. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. Rhea Ripley getting a superhero's welcome here. Like she was so popular with this crowd, as she should be. And Nia Jax is Nia Jax. So she was there. But still, I thought all things considered, the match was fine. Rhea looked great. Nia was there.
The thing, all right, I feel like this is probably the best match of hers that I
Nia
can
Jax.
remember. Yeah, that I can
Yeah.
recall. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this match was fine. There were no points where I cringed and went, oh fuck. like like
Yeah.
it was a fine match. I think they did a great job. Rhea is so fucking over. It's actually insane. Like she normally is here, but back like home. Oh my God. It was insane.
Yeah, that crowd was there for her. And they did a great job. In a way, it was to her benefit that there were only so few matches because the crowd wasn't worn out by the time she showed up. They were ready to lose their minds for their hometown hero.
Yeah. And like we knew that she was going to win, obviously,
Yeah.
but they did a good job of having it seem like maybe Nia like has a chance here. She's not going to win, but like still, like I think they played to her strengths. And but no,
Yeah.
I thought this match was
No,
good.
she did fine. I mean, I'm teasing, of course, but I thought
Yeah.
I thought she did an amicable job, and you know, like you said, the right person won here. This is who we wanted to win, and they gave it to us. So
Now
in
let's
general,
move
I
past
feel
this feud,
absolutely.
please.
Well, we're definitely moving past it because now it's Becky, which will be a great match. Becky and Rhea, it will absolutely deliver. Do you find yourself at the end of the show more or less excited for WrestleMania?
I'm gonna say more. I am hyped for Drew and Seth. I like both of them, and I think Drew's character has vastly improved in the last like 6 months.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Drew needs to win. That'd
yeah,
be
I
great.
think Drew is due for a title run in front of a crowd.
Yeah,
I think it's a real shame that his big win was to nobody.
yeah. And it would be funny, I think Dave Meltzer proposed this where Drew wins the title only to have Damian Priest cash in, and then right as he gets his moment, he loses it again. Like
Uh,
what better way to make him be even more of a hater than have this taken away from him?
man, I kind of it would be great, but at the same time, I'm like, Seth did that. That's his thing.
I know the
Uh,
parallels there.
he should cash in on Drew, absolutely, but maybe not right after he wins it. Maybe the next time he defends it, so that he has like a short run. It's like 4 weeks.
There are, but so we have a lot of the card. There's LA Knight versus AJ Styles,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
the Bailey versus Io Shirai. What other matches kind of seem pretty obvious?
I mean, we already talked about Bianca. Not sure what they're gonna do with her and
Yeah, that's right.
Jade. Who else we
Yeah, I
got?
feel like Sami Zayn needs a match.
Yeah, he's
You
been
know,
talking about he's gonna find his road there. I mean,
right?
he's been just feuding kind of with like Drew and Shinsuke, but like they've already faced each other multiple
Yeah,
times. I guess they still could. I mean, it's not like the company hasn't done that over and over and over.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that could be okay. I just feel like we've seen it.
Yeah, I guess now in the next 2 weeks or so, we'll really start seeing what's going on in the sense of like where they're positioning people for their matches.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that Lynch challenging might headline night one. I mean, probably will. I would not
It
be
could be
shocked.
that. Yeah, sure. Or
Uh,
it could be, like I don't know. I feel would The Rock allow that to happen though?
with the I don't know. Maybe The Rock needs to know his role, and no, I don't know. I don't actually care like who like headlines and
Yeah,
who
as long as the
opens
show's
and
fun.
shit. But Reigns and Cody, man, um, I fucking need this to end.
Do you want Cody to win or do you want Reigns to win?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
Are you a Cody guy?
I was hoping he won last year. I was just like, don't drag this
Agreed.
out, please. All the stuff that the Bloodline has done since then could have still happened without the belts.
Absolutely agree.
I just don't see why he had to have the belts. It's just that like it's I hate to sound like every person on earth, but like when the champ isn't there, it feels less important.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
just a fact.
well, in a way though, I think like Roman has been not around so often that it kind of devalues his title now. Like the title doesn't mean as
Exactly.
much. Yeah.
Like he I mean, wait, so since Mania, he's defended it what? Three or four tops? I don't even think that much because he defended it against LA Knight in Saudi.
Yeah. And then
What
I think
other
that was
time
his
did he?
last. Yeah, it's been a while. I believe that was his last defense. Yeah.
I can't even think of one like
Yeah.
between Cody and now. Like I'm sure there's one. Couldn't tell you what.
Oh, I think
I'm
Jey Uso he defended against, I believe, at
Was the
SummerSlam.
title on the line or just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tribal chief name?
Oh, they made it more about the tribal chief thing than the title, but it was on the line, I think.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, so KO and Logan are obviously going to face off.
Oh, or no, I think it's going to be Orton and Logan
Oh,
based
I
on the.
guess. But
Yeah.
KO really fucking hates his guts.
Yeah. What's KO going to do?
That
Got to
could be
give
a
him some
three
sympathy.
way. Who cares? I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah, I
Uh,
guess Orton did eliminate KO, so he could have that. It could be a three-way for sure.
I mean, and then we've got Lashley. I think they'll probably do a street profits versus what the fuck is it? Carrying Cross and his boys.
Oh yeah, it was like the final testament, I believe, is their
Yeah, it's something
thing. Yeah, I guess
like that.
they're feuding. That could be a thing. Yeah,
Yes. So Street Profits and them.
for sure. Well, that's Elimination Chamber. Thanks for recapping with me. What's going on with your bands? Do you have any shows coming up? Any big gigs?
Well, Hath, we just got done a tour with Wormhole and Gorod.
Oh,
Uh,
awesome.
yeah,
Love
that
Gora.
yeah, they're so good. It's crazy. They might be the tightest band live that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like every single night I was like, this sounds like the album. What the fuck? That was a lot of fun. But we don't really have anything on the books now. We're kind of in that phase where it's like, all right, we need to sit down and write album number three.
Nice. That's cool. Well, I really enjoyed the jam. It was great. And the vocals are pretty killer. Do you find yourself channeling
Thanks.
any sort of professional wrestler when getting up on stage and being a front man?
You know what? I don't really think about that. It's weird. Like I don't know about other people, but I go up there and I kind of just like black out. But I do try and take on that like atmosphere. Like that is the kind of vibe that I try and think of. Like I'm gonna go up there and be that guy. But I don't think there's any particular guy. Maybe like warrior, like that kind of
Nice.
just like maniac.
Cool, man. Well, I'll have links for your both of your bands in the description. People can check out the stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was listening to it earlier today. Was definitely digging it. It's so cool that you're on Willow Tip. That must be pretty fun.
Yeah, they man, they reached out to us in like 2018 out of the blue, and I was like, "Is this real? Is this a scam?" I was like, "I love them. They have dropped 100 albums that I love," and then no, it turned out to be real. So yeah, we dropped our two albums. So far.
Awesome, man. Well, continued luck, and thank you, Frank, for entering the pitch.
Thank you.